Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's video. It is going to be an incredible one tonight because I have so much information to show you. Well, we are already on Thursday, September the 4th, 2025, and my name is Crystal Myers-Barber. I want to thank you for watching. Well, Trump has done quite a bit today. He's back and he has renamed the Department of Defense. We're going to start talking about that first, and I'm going to show you a few memes, and then we're going to get into the meeting that he hosted with all these CEOs with artificial intelligence, and I'm going to show you some clips from that, including Melania Trump. First Lady Melania Trump had an incredible day as well. She was very, very busy at the White House. So basically, let's start with this. Let's start with this. Yes, this right here. This man right here is getting a lot of attention. He posted on his Truth Social. This is just kind of a flashback where on August the 15th, we saw President Trump standing with Vladimir Putin. And he posted this today because there's a lot of things forming with other, countries. And this is, of course, the B-2 bomber and the 4 F-35 fighter jets that flew overhead while they were there on the tarmac together. And then, of course, President Trump also posted this out today. I did all this on my TikTok account. You can follow me there and find out, breaking stuff. Another reminder, military kicks ass. And so when President Trump and, Putin here were the Russian president were there together, they flew these fighter jets over because President Trump wants to remind this country specifically and many others what we are in our military. And so this is kind of flowing right into actually, he put out another thing is President Trump, let's see how long ago this was. He put out the long post about President Xi of China, and he was talking about the, pretty much coming against basically saying, my warmest regards to Putin, Kim Jong-un, as you conspire against the United States of America. And so we just see tension. I see tension when it comes to all this, other countries. So basically, before I get into the other stuff I mentioned, Trump is formally ordering the renaming of the Department of Defense to Department of War. I think this is all telling. I think this is something here. He basically just did this 7:32 p.m. Eastern time. So it was after all of his meetings today. He also met with the Poland president, which I'll show you this as well. But he actually wrote up an executive order, and he's making this change to the Department of Defense, and he's going to officially change the name. This did break the news all over. So I think I have too many things pulled up, and so my computer is doing its usual. So I'm sorry, I'm the frozen chosen again. Try to come back over to you because I want to show you the meeting, moving away from that. Because, we're seeing basically President Trump coming back stronger than ever, having all these meetings. So thankful he was able to rest. Of course, he was very active with interviews and, on media and everything. So it's not like he really rested that much. Sorry about this. My computer's acting up so bad. So Trump hosts all these tech titans, but everybody's talking about how Elon Musk wasn't there. People already forgotten about Elon Musk, like Elon Musk who, but he wasn't present, and he hosted a high-powered group of tech executives at the White House on Thursday as he showcased research on artificial intelligence and boasted of investments that these companies are making around the United States. They all went around the table and they all named how many millions or billions of dollars they're putting into the United States with artificial intelligence. So this has taken our country to a new level, Trump said, at the center of a long table surrounded by what he described as high IQ people. So I also have queued up for you Meta's, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who pledged $600 billion to Trump, and he sat right beside Trump. We also had Apple's Tim Cook and Google's Sundar, I can't say his last name, said $250 billion they pledged. And so as soon as my computer stops acting up, I'll come back over and I'm going to show you just some footage that I have downloaded just for you so that you can see some of these people around President Trump. Melania is there. She did speak. I think she spoke before that meeting because she was in a different outfit. So we have a lot of people there. They were going to have it in the Rose Garden, but because of looks like weather, they had to move it inside the whole event into the White House State Dining Room. So, I was wrong. The event followed an afternoon meeting of the White House's new Artificial Intelligence Education Task Force, which First Lady Melania Trump chaired and some tech leaders participated. So it was the opposite of what I thought. I actually kind of wondered in what order that was. So let me show you. I want to show you what Trump said.
Yesterday, Nigel Farage was on Capitol Hill. He was talking a lot about pushing back on censorship online. He was asking politicians like yourself, some of the people in this room, to really push back on that. How concerning is that to you? And Mr. Zuckerberg, if you don't mind answering, how concerning is that to you, the lack of freedom of speech online in the UK?
He didn't think you'd get that question. He's looking at me saying, how the hell? He's saying, how did I get that question? If you'd like to answer, free speech.
Sorry, actually I wasn't paying attention. But
There seems to be a crackdown. The British government seems to be cracking down on social media posts, people being arrested for tweets, social posts. Just wondering how concerning that is to you, Mr. President, and Mr. Zuckerberg.
This is the beginning of your political career.
no, it's not.
I will just say that in terms of UK, strange things are happening over there. They are cracking down, and surprisingly so. And I've spoken to the Prime Minister, and let's see what happens. But it is a little bit different situation. I'm very surprised to see what's happening. Are you talking about the UK in particular, right? Yeah, I'm very surprised to see what's happening. Sad.
Online. He was asking politicians like yourself, some of the people in this room, to really push back on that. How concerning is that to you? And Mr. Zuckerberg, if you don't mind answering, how concerning is that to you, the lack of freedom of speech online in the UK?
He didn't think you'd get that question. He's looking at me saying, how the hell? He's saying, how did I get that question? If you'd like to answer, free speech.
Sorry, actually I wasn't paying attention. But
I had to play this twice because he said I wasn't paying attention. I mean, this is just nuts, isn't it? So we're going to move on. I remember when he was in the hearing and he was drinking water so much, and that's all he did the whole time. And someone had a video that had millions of views. It was taken down, and they were saying he wasn't human. I just can't get that out of your mind once you see that. So let's see this one. Let's go this.
Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that
Bill Gates was there right beside Melania, to the right of Melania here, and this is the way I'm showing it. And so he says President Trump and he are discussing creating next level cures to eradicate several major diseases. So I was like, what? He's here? And I just want to play what he said.
is my career giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on, because AI is so phenomenal. And my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing. And the President and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close. We don't need new science on that one. For some like HIV and sickle cell, we do need new science, but the U.S. Has the seeds that in the same way that Warp Speed took those seeds and put them together, I think something fantastic can be done. AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI. We want farmers to have incredible advice and, kids to have a chance to learn. So the work being done by the people at this table is changing the world. It's, coming fast, so it's great. We all get together and talk about how the U.S. can lead in this key area and apply it even to the poorest outside the U.S. as well as to our great citizens. So thank you for incredible leadership.
Okay, I had not heard this, so it was my first time hearing this, and that sounds just so not what I want to hear. I don't want Bill Gates involved in anything, especially in vaccines. So not. We're going next right over to Melania Trump, where she hosted her meeting today. I want to show you her walking out. I hope I don't get in trouble for the music. I might mute it. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady of the United States.
Everybody stands, and then there's a little music that I may get in trouble for. So I'm just going to wait. And I just want everybody to see her walking out. She's so elegant and so amazing. This was a very good view of her outfit. She has a pantsuit on, and you can just see her very well as she makes her way through. Takes a seat.
Good afternoon.
I want you to really listen to the very beginning of her speech. This is very short, but I want you to really pay attention.
And welcome to the White House. It's a beautiful event today. So thank you for joining me to address this important issue. Secretaries Wright, McMahon, Rawlings, and Chavez Dirimir. It's wonderful to be here today alongside private sectors, leaders like Mr. Pichai, Mr. Karishma, Mr. Wilson, and the many more visionaries from across industry. We are living in a moment of wonder, and it is our responsibility to prepare children in America. Cars now steer themselves through our cities. Robots hold steady hands in the operating room. And drones are redefining the future of war. Innovations of first-generation humanoids, factory automation, and autonomous vehicles have surged from private sector investment. Every one of these advancements is powered by AI. The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction. Data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis shows that AI innovation is clearly boosting America's GDP growth. Surely this is not a trend, for AI will serve as the underpinning of every business sector in our nation, including education, life sciences, finance, and design. In fact, I predict AI will represent the single largest growth category in our nation during this administration, and I won't be surprised if AI becomes known as the greatest engine of progress in the history of the United States of America. But as leaders and parents, we must manage AI's growth responsibly. During this primitive stage, it is our duty to treat AI as we would our own children, empowering but with watchful guidance. Today, in this room, is filled with the brightest minds of our time. As such, I challenge you to focus on 3 strategic priorities of AI's ecosystem so America can lead in shaping a new, magnificent world: infrastructure and energy, national security, and of course, talent. We must ensure America's talent, our workforce, is prepared to sustain AI's progress. And the Presidential AI Challenge is our first major step to galvanize America's parents, educators, and students with this mission. English is a new coding language for many, and with it, creativity will flow from every corner of America, sparking new industries, careers, and jobs. By supporting the Presidential AI Challenge, you are investing in our youth, America's next era builders. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our very determined Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, Mr. Michael Cartesius. Michael's vision will have a profound effect on how emerging technology shapes our future. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, so this is all I had on that. So we have a very elegant First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, who I just love and adore, telling us that the autonomous cars, humanoid robots, and also the robots that are doing surgery in hospitals, doctors' offices. This is the way of the future. Going on to also want to educate parents about this AI, because I already know that just made the news a few days ago. A young person committed suicide after speaking to Chat GPT, which is Sam Altman's OpenAI, and this chatbot was like a human to the young person, and it instructed some bad advice, and so that person is unalived today. So it's good that First Lady is moving on this, trying to get some clarity on this and get a grip on it, because it's so important. That is a very long meeting. I do have that, and it will be uploaded to many of my channels, one of them being Rumble under Promo Girl 07. I'm going to put the whole meeting up that she had, so you can go see it there. Next, we're going to just step over to, let's see here. I don't think I'm going to spend much more time on President Trump, other than to, let's see if I could show you one more thing on this. Actually, I think I'll show you that in a minute. Let me see here. Trying to bring you, I want to show you Truth Social for a second. Thought it was up, but it may not be. Should have been. Okay, let's bring you over here. So this, before I go to Truth Social, was what the setup looked like with President Trump, First Lady, and then Bill Gates was there, and just, I mean, I had the list of people. There's Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. This was an evening dinner. Mark Zuckerberg, who we just heard speak. We heard Bill Gates speak, who, of course, is co-founder of Microsoft. Sam Altman was there, OpenAI CEO, and OpenAI, Google CEO, Pete Jha, and it just goes on and on. There's a ton more people that were there in this meeting. And you can see that Melania has a different outfit on. So we're going to go over to another tab here. I thought it was worthy to bring this back up. I know I mentioned this a few minutes ago when I started my video about how President Trump was kind of showing off our military fighter jets and everything. And he had made this post he had made this post to basically say, you know, we're watching President Xi, we're watching China, Vladimir Putin, and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, conspire against the United States of America. And so he's kind of putting a lot of, you know, attention on that. And then just a couple days after this, he's renaming the Department of Defense. So he's doing some stuff to, you know, to the Department of War. So there's some stuff happening, you know, and going on. Of course, we also know that President Trump did meet with the leader of Poland today, Polish president to the White House. And there's just quite a bit. He's actually he wants to take Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship out of the country, which is hilarious. And he's got this meme of her blown up with her face huge. But the next part is something I wanted to show more than anything. And this, I was laughing so hard when I saw this. He has made Adam Liddle, Liddle. And the reason he calls him that is because Adam Schiff owned a child care center, and he calls it that. That's something that we learned, you know, many years ago. And he calls him pencil neck. And so what he's done in this meme, and I'm going to play it for you, he stretched his neck out like a giraffe. It's so funny.
Anyone who stands up to the president, anyone who criticizes the president, anyone who says anything adverse to the president's interests gets the full weight of the federal government brought down on them.
Look at this.
Anyone who stands up to the president, anyone who criticizes the president, anyone who says anything adverse to the president's interests gets the full weight of the federal government brought down on them.
So he's just mocking him so bad. It's hilarious. And then there was another one in here. I didn't quite get this one. I was like, is this Christie, the sumo wrestling meme? Not quite sure. I don't want to play that. But he is making fun of Newsome here. And he recently said, President Trump recently mentioned Newsome, as he calls him, his arms are just all over the place. And so he was really making fun of him. And so he made a meme. It's hard to watch. Like, I can't even see any more of that. But this one takes the cake. Like this, I remember when Newsome said this, but Trump added some icing on the cake here.
I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around.
And now he's made sure that, you know, he's wearing the hat. It's too much. So he's having a lot of fun. And I am having a lot of fun looking at this Cracker Barrel meme. Trump is right about everything. This is pretty much all I wanted to go over. Stephen Miller is talking about how they're letting criminals right back out once they catch them. And this is worth watching. I am going to play this. I did cover this yesterday. My video yesterday includes 3 drug takedowns. 2 of them were done yesterday, and this is one of them that U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro came out for. She flew to Texas, and they're explaining this a little more. So this is one of the drug busts that went down yesterday, and this is worth it.
Hi everyone, I'm Judge Janine, and I am in Houston, Texas, and I am surrounded by 1,300 barrels of precursors that are being used to make methamphetamines. These precursors were seized as a result of work by my office in Washington, D.C., along with Homeland Security and Customs and Border Patrol. These 1,300 barrels were shipped from Shanghai, China to Mexico. We intercepted these precursors on the high seas, and now the Sinaloa cartel will not be able to use them to make methamphetamines. And the bottom line is this: whenever there is an effort on the part of foreign terrorist organizations to create drugs that are killing Americans, we will seize them, whether it's on the high seas or whether it's in the country or a foreign country. And by the way, it's going to take 24 18-wheelers to take all of these containers and put them in a secure storage facility. And that's what we're doing in DC, but we're doing it in Houston today. And you never know where we're going to be tomorrow.
See, isn't that just amazing? So they seized all this and saved millions of people. And she just explained how many 18-wheelers it's going to take to just haul this poison out away. And so thank God that they were able to take that out and capture that and not let that go out. So I've told you everything that I had here for now. I'm sure there'll be something else. Let me see, make sure. But yeah, I just wanted to show you some of these breaking developments with the Department of Defense no longer being called that, and how President Trump seems to be posturing himself when it comes to these countries. And the whole thing, there's one more thing I just thought of. I actually have time. If I can just go back and find it. There's a lot of talk with Ukraine, with other countries that are happening. Hopefully I can bring it back up. Here it is. 10 nations are getting ready to deploy troops. This is definitely something I want you to see. This is from United 24 Media. They're ready to deploy troops in Europe's largest ground mission for Ukraine. So they're having a meeting. So this news is more worldwide, and it's focusing on the war in Ukraine and the countries that seem to want to come around it. And this is a good place to go to get some news. I was learning some stuff, right before I came on. Haven't done a lot of research on really much of any of this. It's just showing nations kind of either grouping up or coming against, and we just see this stuff coming right out of Ezekiel, right out of the Bible, and also Revelation, and it's happening now in our time. Sorry, I thought I was showing you this. Here it is. Show you this again. So yeah, United 24 Media has a lot of information. Russia's new jet-powered drone can now hunt moving targets. Wow. Ukraine's ground drones are ushering in a new era in military technology. Putin speaks of peace negotiations, then sends 600 plus drones to devastate Kyiv. And I think President Trump was talking about this today and the number of people that are dying. So he's trying to bring peace to the situation, but it just hasn't happened. Russia deliberately wipes out Ukraine's passenger train in a massive overnight strike. Russia's fuel crisis explodes just like its refineries Ukraine strikes. So you can really see what is going on right now, currently, and you can see, world news and just, other stuff. So I'm really interested in knowing what's going on. That may be a really good source for you. And so, yeah, and Trisha's reminding me that we definitely have to pray, and we have to pray for peace in Israel, and peace for our nation, and pray for President Trump and all of the people around him. They are really going after cartels. They're going after, drug traffickers, human traffickers. They're taking down really their way to make money. And they blew up that boat up in the Caribbean just a few days ago and killed like 11 of them. So has to be tensions going on, because of this. But President Trump, he is not missing a beat when it comes to, he's like a commander in chief, but then he's a businessman. So he has all the people coming in, trying to, bring us up to par with AI, make sure we're in the game. And yet he's hilarious too. He's just releasing all these crazy memes coming against his enemies, pretty much is what it really is, what it really breaks down to. So full circle here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back soon. I'm trying to do videos every single day because there's so much news breaking, and I really want to document all of this on my channel in these end times days that we're living in, where time is going really ramping up, going really fast, and we're seeing pages in the Bible just really come to life. And I really want to stay on top of this. And I feel like this was some breaking stuff today. So especially with, you have Melania Trump coming out, talking about all the stuff I see in Los Angeles with the autonomous cars. We have drones overhead, the humanoid robots one of them is called Rizbot. I've covered this. And as a matter of fact, as soon as I end this, I'm coming back with Sophia the robot. I have wanted to do a video for so long on her, and I'm going to show her. And this I've saved it for a while. She was the first robot they made. I think they created her back in 2016, and she ended up having dual citizenship in Saudi Arabia and of course here in the United States. But I try to track with her to see what is going on. But the humanoid robots with the Tesla bots, and I can't remember who makes Rizbot, but they're all, it's looked like it's all rolling out now. Like they kind of like held it back, and it seems to be, even according to First Lady Melania Trump, that it's no turning back now, baby. And we got to get a grip on this with parents, because everybody knows that AI is being used to break a lot of the news, really, and it's good for research, but it can also be very bad if you look at it as a friend. So I want to talk about some of that. So anyway, God bless y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.